What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about the new Uncharted game. Is it actually happening? It sounds like it definitely... to me, I want to remain as optimistic as humanly possible whenever anything about Uncharted is ever mentioned, okay? So I want to believe there fully is still a game happening. I want to go over that, final big part of the Bloomberg article, right? So over the last couple of days, we've talked about The Last of Us remake. We did that on Friday. We talked about Days Gone and Days Gone 2 yesterday, and now today is Uncharted. What we know from what Jason Schreier said, what we've heard from rumors from other people, and then finally, obviously kind of putting it all together. Now, like I said, tomorrow, I actually did an executive order on this on myself on my own channel. Tomorrow, I will be talking about my opinion on how Sony has been handling their own studios. It'll probably be very controversial. I'm sure I'll lose subscribers, so make sure, to offset tomorrow, make sure if you guys do like this stuff, you're subscribed, you have the bell icon turned on, so you know when all these videos go up if you guys want to watch, obviously, tomorrow's video or any of the past videos that we've done. And also, if you really like my stuff, I do have a second channel. It's called Podcast Now Plus. We're getting very close to 3,000 subscribers. We may already be there, honestly, by now, but would love to have you guys subscribed over there as well. All right. I'm a diehard Uncharted fan. That's probably the first thing you should know. My favorite franchise, Uncharted 4 is my favorite game. Kind of just my background, right? That's the history of Alex, okay? So, reading this article is a lot of depression all put into one thing, okay? You have, besides the games, you have people losing their jobs, whether they did it to themselves or not, because you have a lot of people that seem like they just flat out quit the company, okay? So you have a lot of things going on in this article. A lot of bad things. Days Gone 2 not happening originally, maybe happening now, but not guaranteed. The Last of Us, for some reason, being the remake of choice, okay? All of the, it seems like Sony has prioritized their big studios. They're just destroying all the smaller ones and just not letting them do side things, basically. So there's a lot of negative things there. Again, some of this stuff we'll re-talk about tomorrow, and I'll go into more detail on it. But Uncharted is one of the things that also popped up in this article, and it was one of the things that made me smile. One of the only things that made me smile in this article. So basically, the history was, remember, the Days Gone video yesterday, we talked about this as well. When they made Days Gone, okay, they then pitched Days Gone 2. And Sony said no. They said, we're not doing that. So half the team, I guess they didn't say half, but they said it was split into two parts. So to me, that does mean half. Half the team started assisting Naughty Dog on The Last of Us Part 2's multiplayer. I don't think that's a good fit because they don't do multiplayer stuff, but whatever. So they went to do that. The other team started working on a brand new Uncharted game. And the rumor is it was either going to be a prequel or it could just have been a flat-out reboot of the entire series. Wow. So I want to talk about that in particular after. I'm just kind of going over the news and what we know. All right? So that was happening. They didn't want to do that because what ended up happening is Sony started giving them help from Naughty Dog to make these games, and they didn't really feel like they were on their own, right? So they said, we don't want to be absorbed by Naughty Dog. This is not a good idea. We want off this project. And Jason Schreier makes it sound like they specifically wanted off of Uncharted, but it seems like they were taken off of both projects, okay? So now they went back to obviously making their own stuff. Now, Eurogamer reported that they don't know, so they reported that they don't know something, which is kind of funny, but it is news nonetheless. They reported that they don't know if the game is still being made with basically Sony Bend or Bend Studio being off the project, okay? So that's a little scary, the fact that, okay, they for sure. So at this point, we've heard rumors of that San Diego team, right? The San Diego team that was originally they just helped like with engine stuff. They helped with visual effects and all that stuff, that they were working on an Uncharted remake. But what turns out to be is they wanted to do an Uncharted. So I guess putting everything together, that studio that focused on visuals and stuff like that, they were actually the ones who wanted to do the Uncharted 1 remake, who then started the Last of Us remake, and then now none of them are pretty much around anymore to do anything about it. Now it's basically a Naughty Dog gig, okay? So the Uncharted game, though, they were going to do a remake of 1, but they were also going to do a brand new game. The San Diego team seemingly was doing the remake, but wanted to do the remake and then couldn't. Sony Bend, they started a brand new Uncharted game. Now, with them taken off of it, who makes it? So, what seems to be the theme of the article is that Naughty Dog has 30 teams now, and that's an exaggeration, but They used to have two. Actually, they used to have one. Then they had two. Now it seems more realistically like they have a massive, like they have a lot. They probably have like 3 to 4 teams going on there, because they have teams working on like 2 big games that are different from each other. And they also have seemingly the multiplayer team, and they may have teams now helping with, like, so, you know what I mean? Like now they have a team that's working on the Last of Us remake, but they also could have a team now that's working on a new Uncharted game. Now, I've said time and time again, don't touch Uncharted, especially Naughty Dog. And that's, I guess, a shot at Neil Druckmann. I love Uncharted 4. Again, I think he did a good job, but he was really just putting the bow. He was putting the bow on the present that was Uncharted, okay? I get it. He's been around for a very long time. He's helped with all of them. He's done a really good job. But I just think if you were to do an Uncharted, I would prefer have somebody else. Like, if you want to do it, have somebody else do it, especially if you don't want to do Nate stuff, okay? And I am very protective of Nathan Drake and that character, but if you're going to do something complete, if you're going to reboot the franchise, I don't really think you need Naughty Dog. Now, it also sounds like Naughty Dog like watches over it to make sure everything's okay, like they have some say in it, but they're not the ones making it. That was, part of what the article was talking about as well. I want a new Uncharted game really badly. I've made a lot of videos on that over the past, really several years, over the last like 2 or so years. I've made, periodically here and there, every 6 months or so, maybe I've talked about, my love of Uncharted and a new Uncharted game. I think it's such an easy, it's not an easy thing to do, okay, because obviously you can mess it up, but it's such an easy option, because what we, again, learn in that article is it seems like Sony wants the big hits. Why would they remake The Last of Us when it's only 8 years old? Is because they know how well it'll sell. They know, they know how popular it is. They know it'll connect with the TV show, and that that'll make it more popular, right? So they know what they're doing in that way. They don't know what they're doing in a lot of other ways. It sure seems like, but Uncharted is a seller. Like the Uncharted franchise is it's a system seller. It sells itself in terms of the game. So I think it's only a matter of time until we get a new Uncharted game. And now we know, again, there was wanting in Sony, in different people there that wanted to do Uncharted 1's remake. There was also part of a team, I guess, that wanted to make a brand new Uncharted game. Again, with them off of it now, where did it go? That's the biggest question. So with that team no longer on it, but here's the deal: the San Diego, it's all very confusing, because the San Diego team was the rumored team that was working on it. And they were working on a brand new one, as I guess the rumor. But then there was a thought that maybe they could do the remake. And then I think this article kind of confirms that at least part of the team wasn't doing the remake. They were doing the Last of Us remake. So there's a lot of teams going on here, and there's a lot of almost conflicting reports. I don't know what that San Diego team is doing. There's also been a lot of negative talk about that team, that things are just not working there. I think one of the heads, one of the leads of that team, actually left a few months ago, 3-4 months ago. So I don't know what in God's name is happening over there, okay? But I hope that maybe they're making maybe they're making a brand new Uncharted game. I think that's still a very high possibility. I just don't, it actually gets quite confusing. And maybe it's because I talk so much, and it's because I try to remember without writing down any of this information. I try to remember all the information without really, kind of archiving it in any way. But end of the day, there's clearly a want inside Sony to make a new Uncharted game. Okay, otherwise you wouldn't have done that. Now, he doesn't say kind of who pitched the idea, but you got to imagine Sony did that. If they rejected Days Gone 2, they also probably were the people that said, hey, don't work on Days Gone 2. We need half of you to help with The Last of Us Part 2's multiplayer. Why? I don't know. And then we need the other half of you to start making an Uncharted game. You know what I mean? I don't think that came from Sony Ben. I don't think they're the ones who pitched, hey, let's split up our team in half and let's do a multiplayer thing, which none of us have experience with doing that, and then let's make a new Uncharted game. Now, that would make sense, because remember, they made Uncharted Golden Abyss on the Vita. So that actually, in fact, if there's any team I think that could handle a brand new Uncharted game, it's that team. So if they aren't making Days Gone 2, but they are making an Uncharted game, I would take that. I would actually be okay with that. The issue is that's not happening whatsoever. The other issue is they're probably making a different game entirely from either of those two. They're not making Days Gone 2, maybe, and they're not making Uncharted, maybe. They could be making a brand new game. So it's all messy. The article made a lot of these situations, I think, very, very messy. What we thought we knew, kind of connecting the dots. And then, like I said, I don't think it helps like learning about leaks and rumors and like reading all this stuff is fun. Like I said, like this article specifically connects the dots with some of them, and you'll get this from time to time. There'll be a bunch of rumors, and all of a sudden something will happen, and it's like, oh, here's how all of those things connected. But also gets confusing because now again, like now I'm confused with San Diego. I don't understand how that studio is built. I don't understand who's still there. I don't understand what they were doing and what they are doing right now. You know what I mean? So it gets a little messy. And again, maybe it's just because I don't write anything down. But let me know, guys, in the comments below, what do you think about this whole situation? Do you think there's a new Uncharted game happening? I do. Whether it's Naughty Dog making it or whether they passed off the starting point of that Uncharted reboot / prequel to somebody else, I do think there's an Uncharted game still being worked on. I really, really do. But let me know your guys' opinions in the comments below. As always, make sure you guys are subscribed. Make sure you guys have the bell icon turned on so you know all these videos go up. Like I said, if you guys want to subscribe to my second channel as well, Podcast Now Plus, link for that is in the description below. Tomorrow, very controversial video. We'll be talking about how Sony handles their studio, so I hope to see you guys there, as well as all the videos, okay? Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all on the next one.